Hillary Clinton no longer joking about her email scandal. The Democratic presidential candidate now taking direct responsibility for the mess during a campaign stop in Iowa.
I know people have raised questions about my email use as Secretary of State, and I understand why. I get it. So here's what I want the American people to know. My use of personal email was allowed by the State Department. It clearly wasn't the best choice. I should have used two emails, one personal, one for work.
Jay Sekulow joins us, Chief Counsel at the American Center for Law and Justice. That's sort of a semi-qualified mea culpa, isn't it? I mean, it sounds as though she's just kind of sorry that, and the only thing she regrets is that it's hurt her campaign.
Well, look, I mean, this is that's supposed to be a serious investigation. You got the FBI grab control of the server. There's 3 criminal statutes that can be implicated in a situation like this, including, by the way, the fact that she utilized that private email and had a server that was controlled by a group that had no security clearance. Right. She had access given to individuals on her staff that did not have the appropriate security clearance. She handed over the thumb drive of the emails to her lawyer, who did not have security clearance. And, of course, there's the missing at least 30 or 40,000 emails. And that's a separate criminal provision, Greg,
Jay,
that says
her
if
defense
you
is
destroy emails, it's a crime.
Her defense is continuously nothing classified on her server. Well, our own Catherine Herridge has broken the story that, in fact, there was, and in fact, classified information from 3 different intelligence sources, and it was classified when it was sent to her server. Does that, and if the FBI has that evidence, and we believe they do, does that put a lie to her defense?
That makes her defense implausible, because not only is the question of was it sent, and when it was sent, was it classified, but as the Secretary of State, she's fully aware of what constitutes classified information. And there's phrases contained within the emails themselves that point to that. If it says a foreign source, that's an indication of a classified or even a higher classification of document. The Inspector General, of course, in just their short analysis of just some of those emails, have found hundreds of classified emails. And Greg, the follow-up question that the Secretary needs to be asked here is, what, in fact, did you do with those emails? Where'd they go? And how in the world did you hire a company to manage the server that was operating out of an apartment complex? You couldn't make this up. Sounds like a movie.
She repeated,
except it puts our national security at risk. How in the world can you do this to a company that was operating out of an apartment complex in Colorado and had your server in the bathroom?
She's very careful with her words.
By the way, their employees, Greg, had no security clearance. So this whole thing does not work. And this seems to be the administration's, look, I mean, we see this in the IRS case. We see it here. I've got a piece up on Fox News on the IRS case, foxnews.com right now on that. The email seems to be the thing of the day. Yeah. That's what they seem to do.
All right, she repeated it again yesterday, but they weren't marked classified. You know, Jay, you've looked up the statute, so have I. 18 U.S.C. 1924, I know it by heart. It's not whether it's marked. That's irrelevant and immaterial.
Right.
It's the content that counts. So in a way, she's sort of saying, well, it wasn't marked, so I didn't know. Well, isn't that arguing her own incompetence? In other words, I was so inept I didn't notice the obvious.
Well, my response to that as a government prosecutor, I worked for Treasury when I got out of law school, so I tried cases for the government. I would say, well, Secretary Clinton, so what? It wasn't marked, if in fact it wasn't marked. Right. As you said, Greg, it is the content that triggers the statute. It is the content that the Secretary had to be aware of. She was the Secretary of State, and it was that content that was being given access to in an unsecured environment, which violates the criminal statute.
Right. And it's not knowledge of the content
FBI is going to do a real investigation here.
Okay, that's the standard.
Oh yeah, but I think it's there's elements of negligence that rise to the level of criminal negligence as well. But what the FBI needs to do here is not do an investigation like they did in the IRS case.
Right.
They need to do a real investigation where they look at the law and they apply that law no matter where it leads, and that includes the Secretary of State and her staff if, in fact, they violated the law.
Jay Sekulow, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thanks, Greg. Good to be with you.